Welcome back to F123, my team. Thank you for your patience in waiting for this next episode. Welcome back to Spain, actually, after yesterday's Creator Series video that was also at the Circuit to Catalonia. Thankfully, I've got a good setup thanks to doing that. So hopefully we can again continue to get some good results after, of course, a P2 at Imola last time out, trying to hunt down Lewis Hamilton. It didn't quite work, but at present, certainly a four-way, maybe even a five-way if you count George Russell as well. Title challenge. Spain today, and hopefully a podium at least. If not, maybe a win. We have only won one race this season, but we have gotten 4 podiums so far in the opening 7 races. So we're doing very well. Pierre Gasly picked up points in the last race as well, I believe, with a P7 in Imola. So hopefully both teammate and team owner can get good results here, and fingers crossed will be double point scoring again. Mixed conditions for the race, although as you can see there, it starts dry and may rain before the end. It also may just get overcast but not rain, and may also get overcast but rain enough, but only enough for it to stay on dry. Who knows? Who knows? Whether the rain in Spain falls mainly on me, probably. Right, I'm going to head to practice, get some resource points so we can improve the car yet further. Hopefully get some good bloody points. Drop the video a like if you're enjoying the save, I'd appreciate it. Do subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on the rest of this season. And of course, come and join me on Twitch to watch it all unfold live. Link in the description down below. End session there. We should have some laps, in theory, simulated laps, on that fresh gearbox. I am never really that trusting when putting a fresh gearbox in, and it's not going to poop out on me. But lots of resource points there, thankfully. Pierre Gasly looks quick here. I'm not sure how quick I am comparatively to a number of the others, but faster than I was in the Creator Series, that's for sure. But that is certainly down to the car, not me. Cooler conditions in qualifying. As you can see, 23% chance of rain, but dry conditions on track. And it does say, to be fair for the race, mixed conditions on track. So expecting the rain then to come towards the 2/3 point of the race. So we might soft, medium to the rain. We'll wait and see what tyres we've got available at any given moment. Have a look through here. I am going to have to start concentrating a bit on durability, aren't I? Otherwise the car is just going to die on me quite a bit. We've got a big discount on the ERS. Can't do anything else there until we upgrade. These are really expensive, these downforce ones now. So let's prioritise. Let's prioritise on this if we can. Energy Storm, not that bothered about. Gearbox, I can't do any more. ICE's on its way. Turbo would certainly be good to do. So let's do the turbo. And then I don't know if there's anything else really needs to do. It's more the ICE and everything else that I'm more concerned about. ICE and turbo are the two. ICE, turbo, and gearbox are the three that are like the obvious ones to do. The MGUH and MGUK, we don't tend to need to take any more of those. So I'm actually a bit apprehensive to do anything else there. I literally can't do anything else on chassis yet. And I can't afford now anything on the brakes. So I might as well do the ERS, because why not? Let's do that. Okay, off to quali we go then. Final corner right, which we do. And that should be P1 then, with 111 flat. And indeed it is. I am confident that that lap will see me through to Q2. So we presume we got through. And indeed we did. P1 by 2.5, 2 3/4 in fact tenths. Pierre Gasly P9, a full 8 tenths off me. Any surprise exits? Both AlphaTauris. Liam Lawson in the Aston Martin. It's obviously a particularly strong car. Gone out in Q1. But Liam Lawson, not a very highly rated driver in-game. Lando in the McLaren is a shock and a surprise there. Other than that, everything is probably as you would have expected it. So, through to Q2. I did an 11 flat again. I did an 11 flat in Q1 when these tyres, or those tyres, were fresh. We actually did an 11 flat again with the previous tyre. The warm tyre, so Gasly goes P2. I think it was actually Zhou going into P3 that made the thingy move. I'm under no pressure here whatsoever. really. I don't think with that lap time we put in, it's not even been a very good lap from me here. It's been scrappy, but I'm going to be fine. So we'll abandon the lap. Don't need to. Oh, Lewis does go faster with a 1:10.7. That's good to see. I actually like that. I thought for a minute when the... Oh, God, the bump. When the best time was a 1:10.7, I thought if I'm doing a 1:11.7, if I'm doing 1:11 flats, then it's gonna be an easy victory and I'm gonna have to up the difficulty. But the fact that Lewis has just popped in a 1:10.7 means that it's not going to be a straightforward easy victory, and the other drivers are going to improve and get much quicker, so there is going to be a challenge still at 100 difficulty. But we are through to Q2 and we have saved tyres well. So we're through in P2. Nice to see that Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc both got to within a tenth of me, and Lewis extends to 0.3 further up. But we did do a 1:10.7 in practice, so we know that we can match that and might still be able to get pole. So we'll see what we can do here in Q3, but expecting everybody else to step it up a notch, and we are probably going to have to pull out a really good lap if we want to finish qualifying on pole come the end of the session. Russell out in Q2, was he? I missed that. Yep, no George Russell in the top 10. Both Ferrari, both Red Bull, both Chesnoid Racings. No Aston Martin. Yuki out as well, but both Alfa Romeos are through, which is a real surprise. Banker is a 1:11.5, which is certainly good enough for a return to garage. Checo's finished his flying lap, or is on his flying lap now, and he's gone P4 with it. If he boxes now, obviously. No, so he's on his flying lap now. Sergio Perez goes P2. So Checo's up to P2 and has displaced me. I'm now P3, but everyone in front of me now on track is about to set their faster lap time. We've got plenty of time to just ease our way around. Make sure our tyres are hot. Make sure we're ready for this lap. Get rid of the marbles off the tyres from warming them up. Here we go. We're off. Now the final corner as well. So we're looking to go about 0.8 faster than we did with our first run. About 0.8 is what we're looking to find. You guys will see that lap times come in. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm going to keep my eyes above me and on track. You guys will see the results come in as they do. Purple modal sector for me. Whether that's good enough to get me onto pole or not, I don't know. I think I briefly glanced Gasly doing a 1:10.6. No idea what I'm doing there. Too busy concentrating, doing a piece to camera. I think I glanced Gasly doing a 1:10.6. To ease off around the corner a little bit, we are going to do a 1:10.5, I think. P1, pole position, but only just, I think. Pole, but only just. Pierre might be P2. We might be first and second here. Note to self for the future, we are first and second here. Note to self for the future, don't talk to camera, just put the lap in. And we won't need to use any flashbacks in the final turn. I apologise for that, but we won't make that mistake again. I.e., I'll just shut up, put the lap in, and then talk to you. A 1:10.593, Pierre with a 1:10.663. Lewis only a tenth and a half behind. And then nobody else really went... Well, they all improved, but... I'm surprised that Carlos Sainz was a 1:11 flat if Charles was able to get... Well, to be fair, he's only 1:11.9. 0.4. It's only really the top three that were massively competitive there. I'm going to be on a probably slightly different strategy, though, depending on when we expect the weather to come. So I don't know how we're going to line up here. I might go soft, medium, or I could go medium and then soft and save a pit stop and wait for the rain to come. We don't know yet what lap we expect the rain to arrive, but we know that it is going to arrive at some point. So we'll sort our fuel out. We'll see what everyone else is starting on and we'll take it from there.
Time to see how our drivers are
Hoping that Pierre Gasly doesn't have a penalty to take here, and he doesn't indeed. The Chesnoid racing cars lock out the front row. You love to see it. Pierre performing. Hamilton with no penalty either. Doesn't look like there's any pens for anyone behind us. Fernando Alonso P5 in the Alfa Romeo is very impressive indeed. Nobody taking a pen in the top 10. Russell, as you guys in live chat rightly pointed out, saw that he didn't make it through to Q3. Neither did Yuki Tsunoda. The Haas is doing well, actually. Norris, as we saw earlier on with a YouTube highlight as well, that Norris not doing very well at all. Nobody takes a pen at all, which is a surprise. I'm sorry, 8.8 laps worth of extra fuel. It's recommending 8.8 laps worth of extra fuel. Now, it's all mediums, apart from Lawson on the softs, Stroll on the softs, Iwasa on the softs, then Albon and Zhou on the hards. We expect the rain to come. We expect the rain to come about lap 40-ish. So I'm probably going to go medium soft. Or do I go soft, medium, and try and undercut? But then if the rain comes before the end of the medium stint, I've shot myself in the foot. We'll start on the mediums. We'll copy everyone else. And we can play it by ear with regards to the rain. And then if we think we want to stop and put some softs on and just blitz it for 10 laps before the rain comes, then we can do so. But 8.8 laps worth of extra fuel is absurd. 8.8 laps! How thirsty is this car? That's ridiculous. 6.5 laps worth of extra fuel, which is still absurd in itself, but we'll see what happens. So we're going to go mediums, see what happens with the rain. If the rain isn't coming massively quickly, we'll put on another set of mediums. If it is coming soon, we'll put on softs and go for it. Slow it down so we're not sat on the grid for too long. Wasn't paying attention at all, because I was looking at Pierre Gasly, who dropped well behind Alonso, but somehow managed to swerve and get it back on the line at 0.6 metres. I have absolutely fluked my way to that. That was ridiculous. I wasn't even paying attention at all. Because for some reason Gasly dropped from P2. Right, here we go then, from the start. A lot of wheel spin, and Lewis has had a decent start behind, and he's already alongside Pierre Gasly. We'll use a bit of battery, but if I can box Lewis in, I'm quite happy for Pierre to take the lead here. So I feel I can get Pierre later in the race, but Pierre's not going to get aggressive. I'm going to keep the lead, and Pierre is going to keep P2 for now. So as a twosome, in tandem, we're going to look to try and break away. I'm expecting other drivers to use their batteries quite... Oh no, Pierre! What did Pierre do there? He just kind of completely backed out of it. What's he doing? Trying to avoid the Rosberg Hamilton of the year of a few years ago, but he's just had a moment mid-corner. He might have picked up damage off the Alfa Romeo, and he's down to P5. Pierre Gasly, what have I got to do to get you to perform to your potential all the time? I do not know. So I'm expecting a strong first stint, but it's the rain that makes me question how strong we are going to be throughout the course of the whole race. I will use my battery now to extend the gap, but it is difficult to get ERS back again. We'll try and extend the gap to over 2 seconds by the end of lap 2 if we can, and then just maintain it from there. And if this ends up being a relatively straightforward race, we will up the difficulty for the next Grand Prix in Canada. But that was terrible for me around the final turn. It cost me at least 3/10 already, but I've still managed to hold on to the fastest lap. Right, so now then, I effectively have to extend the gap behind. Gasly's back up to P4. He's taken Alonso. I now need to extend the gap behind by 2 seconds on this lap, which is probably not going to be possible. We know we're very strong in the middle sector, though. We were constantly setting purple sector times in qualifying through the middle sector, so I'm going to try and utilise that to my advantage. We are running a lot of downforce. Try and get that gap up over a second to Lewis Hamilton. To be fair, it won't be active until that straight next lap because of the way that the DRS zones are located on the lap. So I actually have about 3/4 of a lap still to extend the gap a bit further. Run wide around the last corner though again. Struggling to nail that final corner just as I did in the Creator Series. With a heavy car, I just can't do it apparently. And Lewis might gain almost an entire second on me down that straight and nearly take the lead. We do have over a second to Leclerc. So it's basically me and Lewis at the minute, battling out for this victory as it was in Imola. And Lewis is going for it too. He's not hanging about. He wants to take the lead of this Grand Prix. I do not want to let him. Alright, I'm happy enough now that P1 is relatively safe until the first round of pit stops. Or I make a terrible mistake. It'd be great if Pierre could get DRS on Leclerc and close up, but Pierre's going to have to really pull his finger out now if he's to challenge for a podium. Because at the minute, the front three are just going to disappear down the road. They're both going to DRS Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc off each other, and myself. And Pierre's going to be not in trouble from Fernando behind. I fancy Pierre to do the business against Fernando in the cars that they're in. But it'd be great if Pierre could close the gap on Charles Leclerc. And we're about 2% a lap. Okay, so I'm relatively happy with tyre wear as well, actually. We look good. We look good. If I can break that DRS train, I think I could pull away. But whilst he's still got DRS, he's still going to be there annoying me. So strong in a straight line. So strong in a straight line with DRS. Verstappen now up to P5. He's taken Alonso. Pierre now 1.6 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. It is the front three breaking away here. Pierre's in a bit of no man's land, actually, as you see on the mini-map. Hopefully, he can close on Charles. If we can get Charles Leclerc out of DRS of Lewis Hamilton, then Pierre should be able to close up on Charles Leclerc and get him. No, I don't want to back Lewis and Leclerc up into Gasly. I don't want to risk losing my lead just to get Gasly onto the podium. Still 1.6 seconds between Pierre and Charles. 1.9 from Pierre back to Max. Oh, hello. Calm down. Stay alert. Stay alert. Lewis is still right up my trumpet. And he might go for it into turn 4 here. He's going to go for it into turn 4 here. I'm on the marbles. If I can hold it around the outside. Oh, Lewis darting back across. Do I? I'm going to.
Okay, we've lost a position.
Get aggressive.
Down a place.
Did it in some online races yesterday into turn 5. Able to do it against Lewis as well here. Gap between Pierre and Leclerc now 1.3. So Pierre is closing on Charles and will hopefully be past him before the first round of pit stops. As soon as he's got DRS, he should be through. Russell's just taken Max Verstappen. George Russell up from P11 to P5. Max Verstappen dropping back. You can see that Charles is closing right up on... Pierre is closing right up on Leclerc now. 1.3 seconds still. He's getting there. I wonder whether Max Verstappen has damage, actually, because the Red Bull's fallen... Ooh, fallen behind a couple. Too busy concentrating on doing a piece to camera. Just drive, cheers. Max Verstappen falling back behind Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso, presumably over Zhou Guanyu. I wonder if Max has damage. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, ever so slightly some damage on Max's right end plate. You see it's jaggedy. That right end plate's jaggedy compared to the left one that is smooth there on the front edge. So the most marginal of damage to Max, but I don't think that's enough for him to lose multiple positions. Leclerc is now comfortably holding Gasly behind. George is, I think, closing on the pair of them. At the minute, I wouldn't rule out a Mercedes 2-3 or a Mercedes double podium in any order. I cannot shake Lewis. I just can't do it. Which says to me that in free air, he's faster, so he cannot afford to get undercut by Lewis Hamilton. I think we're probably going to be going medium, you know. I don't think we'll be putting a soft set on yet, or maybe even at all. Come on, 20th if we pit.
Okay,
Obviously,
so
it's still
teammate
early
by
doors.
6.1 seconds.
Here comes Lewis again. Not brave enough this time. Just thought I'd save my battery a little bit. So probably 21, I'd imagine. 21 or 22. Again, use a bit of battery to defend from Lewis. Oh, I've gone deep on the brakes. He's hit me there, Lewis Hamilton. So I'm not the only one that went deep on the brakes. Definite contact between Lewis and my back end there because it changed the direction of the car. I'll have a look at that back and see what happened. Did he just outbrake himself? Did he follow me into the braking zone? He's just drifted. I can't really go any further right there, but he's just drifted out understeered. Because actually, what's his steering is actually turning left more so here. Starts to crank on the angle, but it's just understeer, understeer, understeer. Makes contact with the back of my car. But does he now have damage similar to Max? He does indeed. You can notice there, just on the front right, at the very front of the end plate, there's that tiny little bit of damage that we saw on Max Verstappen's car as well. Minimal front wing damage to Lewis. We'll see what happens to his pace. Lewis going offensive around the outside into turn 4. Forcing wide a little bit, just by going a bit later on the brakes. We've done that well. It's really a 2-horse race at the minute, isn't it? Gasly is now, I think, just within DRS range of Leclerc, but notice George Russell has just romped up to the back of them. The Mercedes is certainly the best car on the grid right now, isn't it? Pierre and I might have qualified P1 and 2, but in race trim, that Mercedes is still the much faster car. I can't shake Lewis, and George has gone from P10 to P5 and is now reeling in everybody else. Lewis seems rather unaffected by that front wing damage though, doesn't he? Although my tyres have probably now hit the 25% wall, whereas his probably haven't yet. They are, in fact, at the 25% wall, so my fronts are going to start being very, very poor moving forward. My rears aren't quite there yet, so we should still have a little bit extra rear stability, but it's not going to be easy. Gasly is now right with, and I mean right with, Charles Leclerc. We're going to have either 2 Chesnoid Racings or 2 Mercedeses in podium positions within the next couple of laps. Charles can't hold off both of them, not a chance. Lewis is definitely falling back though now with that rear wing damage. Sorry, front wing damage. I wonder whether Lewis's tyres are starting to go as well. Gasly P3! Gasly P3 round turn 1. Go on, lad. Keep it, keep it. They're battling hard. I do want a flashback, so I want to see some of it. Or want to see all of it so far. I don't want to miss any of this battle. So, Pierre going for the move. Getting it done. Charles is going to try and hang it around the outside. Pierre will then have the inside line for turn 3 and should see the move through. As you can see, Charles is starting to tuck in behind, but George might have a go at Pierre here, maybe up the inside. Although I expect Charles Leclerc to tuck in and probably fill that gap. On wide and on the marbles. Whether Lewis actually changes that front wing or not, I don't know. There you go, Russell past Leclerc. No, they're still battling it out. Leclerc holds on. I kind of need Charles Leclerc to hold up George Russell as long as he possibly can. Because I need Pierre to try and build a gap, otherwise George will be past Pierre. And it will be game over for Pierre Gasly for a podium. At the minute, it's definitely going to be me and the 2 Mercedes on the podium, that's for sure. Lewis is definitely struggling with that front wing, but now I'm starting to struggle with all 4 tyres with wear and grip. So my tyre wear is probably higher than Lewis's. So it's not a done deal yet, this victory. Or even close to it. Lando takes my fastest lap away from me. Lando Norris in his McLaren. Oh, some are pitting. Has Lando got fresh tyres on, or has he just found some pace out of absolutely nowhere? I imagine Lando's pit and put a new set of tyres on. He has. He's gone medium soft. That is an early stop off mediums. Zhou's pit from his hards already. That's a really short medium stint. I'm very much surprised at that. Especially with the weather on the way as well,
Okay,
which
radar
isn't
is
here
clear.
yet.
Weather is looking good for now. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now.
We're going to medium, and pit on lap 21 to protect from the undercut from Lewis Hamilton. Some behind have already pit. We're gapping the 3 that are directly behind myself and Lewis. Pierre, Charles and George. Pierre is just not able to break DRS to Charles Leclerc and just get away from him, unfortunately. But there is enough time between the two of us, I think, for me to box
Take you this lap.
and him to get out. Or him to be, from me to box, me to get in and out, provided it's a clean pit stop before Pierre comes around. If he wants to pit on 21, which I don't think he will want to. But the fact that I've confirmed my box will mean that the game won't make him pit now, and he will definitely stay out another lap. But I think he was probably going to do that anyway. Not sure where we'll come out here with a fresh set of medium tyres, but we've got to have confidence that wherever we come out, we will be lightning fast compared to everybody else. At the minute, it's myself, Lewis and George that are the 3 that are the main pace setters. Watch out for that bump on the way in. Lewis stays out. We are in for a brand new set of medium tyres, please. Protecting from the undercut from Lewis Hamilton here. Quick stop, please, gents. No mistakes. Front left's taken an age to come off.
Have a problem removing the left front wheel. We need to try and put that behind us though and finish the race strong. Up to
Just
speed
as well.
now.
We
Let's
undercut then,
continue
isn't it,
with those
really?
tyres.
There goes Sergio Perez. We're going to be down to P9. We would have been P8 with a lot of free air in front of us. Now I'm going to have to battle hard to try and get past the Red Bull. And then have some free air. That's really, really annoying. Lance Stroll sets the fastest lap of the race. He's in a Alpha Tauri, I think. Stroll.
Got a lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake.
We're going to have a significant pace advantage over Checo here, though. I can use a bit of my battery. I might even be able to take him into turn 10. Oh, yeah. This is going to be an easy overtake. We'll have the extra grip. We can brake earlier. We can grip sooner. We can accelerate sooner and harder.
Overtake.
Comfortably done past Sergio Perez in his Red Bull. Haven't glanced to see if anyone else is in the pits, so I'm just going to continue on before I ruin the last corner. And no, nobody else pits. Still, Pierre holds on to the position ahead of the other 3, though. So Lewis, having done an extra lap, hopefully will come out 2 seconds behind us, 3 seconds behind us. This undercut might win us the Grand Prix, depending on, of course, how fast or slow we are when the rain comes.
7 seconds.
At the minute, though, I've used 2.5 laps worth of extra fuel in a third of the race. So I am going to have needed 7.5 laps worth of extra fuel without the rain. But hopefully with the rain, and as the car gets lighter, to be fair, and requires less fuel to power it around the track, we might have just gotten the fuel level about right. But I definitely feel like Max Verstappen in real life right now.
Our gap behind
The only thing is,
3.0 seconds.
Lewis Hamilton is providing quite the challenge to me, which Max doesn't have in real life right now. It's Yuki in front of me. Still nobody else pits though, and we power on. Fastest lap of the race, 1:14. Flat bar a couple of milliseconds. Pierre has gapped as well. He's in the pits now, Pierre Gasly.
Pierre is in for his stop now.
George stays out, so Pierre is going to get the chance to undercut George Russell, who had lost time trying to get past Charles Leclerc because there was a bit of a gap. But Lewis No, sorry. I saw the Mercedes going into turn 1. I thought Lewis had overcut me. He certainly has not. Lewis Hamilton out of the pits now behind us. We've undercut him and gained some time for sure. About an extra 2 to 2.5 seconds by the time his tyres are warm. The race win is stronger now than it was. But Lewis will now have a tyre advantage on me. So we'll see if he closes. And to be honest, given the pace in that Mercedes in the first third of the race, I expect him to close. Talk to me about rain, Mark. Talk to me about rain.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good.
No, Lewis definitely didn't change wing.
Okay, gap ahead is 2.7 seconds.
He'd have been much further behind if he changed wing. So expecting George in this lap. And probably Carlos Sainz as well. There you go. Sainz is in. So we are now going to retake the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 25 into 6. And hopefully not relinquish it for the rest of the race. Because in theory, the next time we change tyres, everyone will be changing tyres for Inters rather than having offset pit stops due to dry tyre wear. We are gapping Lewis. That front wing damage is causing him all sorts of concerns. It's not by much. 10th or 2 a lap, but whilst not being able to be dragged along in my DRS, he is struggling. As am I now with that underfloor damage. That changes things dramatically.
Okay, the underbody's taken some damage. You might start to notice it soon.
Frustratingly, Pierre is in some traffic as well, with Kevin Magnussen in front of him and Lando Norris too, but crucially, George Russell is also in yet more traffic behind him. And I think Pierre's going to take P4 here past Kevin Magnussen, and indeed he does. Hopefully that underfloor damage doesn't ruin my Grand Prix. It's certainly not going to help it, that's for sure. Pierre past Lando. That's Gasly up to P3.
Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage.
I know.
Nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful.
It's probably going to get worse throughout the Grand Prix, but hopefully we can deal with it. Leclerc now chasing Norris, and Charles has actually undercut George with that earlier pit stop. 1 lap sooner pit stop. Charles has managed to get himself back into effectively a net P4, which is going to slow George down even more. So at the minute, Pierre is actually not looking too bad for a podium, provided he makes no mistakes. No mistakes, please, Mr. Gasly. I say 4th. Still 5th. Yellow flags around turn 3. A Haas is retiring. Or has binned it, but I think it's retiring because it's moving. No safety car, no safety car, no safety car. Kevin Magnussen is out, pulled over to the left-hand side. That won't be a safety car or even a VSC there. Thank God for that.
Okay, clear.
We're all right. Still powering round. Still at the minute expecting to stop for a set of softs in 10 laps time. Probably 9 laps time though, given the nature of this elongated stint. Unless the rain hits, which at the minute it doesn't look like it's going to yet. Tyres are past that 25% window. You can see the clouds greying up. Talk to me about weather, Mark. Talk to me about weather.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now.
We did 21 laps on our previous set, so I'd have to take this set at least to lap 42. But to ensure that the soft set lasts, I'm going to have to take them significantly past 42. We've done 21 laps on mediums and then 21 laps on mediums. I can't then expect to do 24 laps on softs, because those softs are going to die. And Lewis is just out of nowhere gained another half second on me plus, probably because my tyres have just gone over the 25% marker and his haven't yet. So Lewis is now going to start closing in on us, I think, for the next few laps, and I'm going to have to extend this stint to probably lap 44 at least, if not more so. and hope that then the rain is still at least 10 minutes or so away, so I can at least get a decent run on my softs to make some positions back. Yeah, Lewis's tyres, I think, might have started to hit the cliff as well, because that gap's opening back up again. Pierre's closing though. He's come down from 15 to 14.2. So we're not massively comfortable when we pit, but we should be pitting earlier than everybody else. But crucially, not so early that we pit and they don't and the rain comes. We should still all pit for fresh, dry tyres, I think, although that has just got significantly more dark over the outskirts of turn 3. I need to concentrate on where I'm driving, not talking to you guys. 3 seconds the gap to Lewis now, but that's going to significantly come down because I just had a terrible first sector. Wow, 5.4 to Lewis now. His tyres have really fallen off. And he's stuck behind De Vries as well. No, he's not. He's stuck behind an Alpha. He's stuck behind an Alpha Tauri that I haven't had to overtake. We must have lapped that Alpha Tauri as he was coming out of the pits. And Lewis is now stuck behind him. Logan nearly lost it then. Lewis is now stuck behind him, can't get past, has now finally managed to do it, but it's cost him another second of race time. Sucks for you, great for me. The win is looking much healthier now than it was 3 or 4 laps ago. Now, if it doesn't rain, which it really doesn't look like it's going to, we are going to box this lap for a set of softs, and we should come out in P4 ahead of Carlos Sainz, which indeed we will. So, I am going to pit, but I now need it to not rain for another 10 laps or so that everybody else also pits for a second time.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Perfectly timed. Lewis losing yet more time behind. But he's not even losing more time behind laps cars. Lewis is just falling back. So, close to another second. And he's not even getting away from the Alpha Tauri now. What's happened to Lewis? Or has everybody else's tyres just died? I'm boxing. I'm in.
Stopping this lap.
I've still not said anything about wet weather yet. So I can't just hang about waiting for the rain. I've got a box. Right, don't balls this pit stop up, please, gents. That's better, thank you.
Hey, mate, that's it. Go, go, go.
Going.
On the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop.
Two Ferrari are coming down the straight, but we're definitely going to be up to racing speed before they get here. Now these soft tyres are going to be considerably worn by the end of the race. But hopefully I'll have been able to open up a good enough gap that it really won't matter if it doesn't rain rain enough between now and the end of the Grand Prix to warrant intermediate tyre running. We're now P4, and I'm going to have to try and get past George Russell. Try and not drag George Russell along too much so that he doesn't close on Pierre Gasly. That gap is currently 2 seconds. Lewis now passed another runner, another back marker. In fact, the McLaren's fallen well behind. Nick De Vries is just dying right now. But what I want now is everybody else to pit for a second time, then for the rain to come. But let's go and get that fastest lap back, shall we? I'm going to use all my battery on this lap to try and set a fastest lap that nobody else will match. We'll see if we can do it. Maybe I'll keep you on board for the whole lap if it's that good a lap. I might balls it up. I probably will. It wasn't purple in Sector 1 though, despite the battery use. Hi, George. How are you, pal? The gap to George has just tumbled. I mean, I guess I have used half my battery. Might even be able to get in DRS range of him. I have. Oh my god, George. Just gained by a whole second in the middle sector alone. That's how strong our middle sector is. We are running with a lot of extra downforce. Definitely way more than the AI. This is why we're so strong in the middle and third sectors. But now after using all of my battery, I'm now going to get stuck behind George. and probably won't get my fastest lap. 12.9. It is the fastest lap. Lewis has just pit for hard tyres. Lewis is in the pits and he's put hards on. So us saving a set of soft tyres in qualifying has really helped. I'm sure Lewis has a set of softs he could have gone to. Surely he's got a set of softs he could have gone to. Now we've set a purple sector 1 with the DRS and the battery. Pierre Gasly leads the Grand Prix, but not for long. And crucially, most importantly for me, I am out of DRS range of George Russell behind, so that George won't close in on Pierre. Don't go defensive, don't go defensive, don't go defensive. Come on, Pierre. Oh, we need to work together here, pal. Thanks for giving me enough room to get back on track. I know it was a lunge, but still, I probably should have been patient and just waited till the start-finish straight, but Pierre's in now as well. Is George in as well? George might be in too. He is indeed. Good stop for George. Sorry, good stop for Pierre, please. Good stop for Pierre. Bad stop for George. George has gone to... Ooh. George has gone to hards. Pierre has gone to mediums. No, Pierre has also gone to hards. Oh, it was a dead stop for Pierre. You're kidding me. George is going to jump stop Pierre Gasly in the pits. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's coming out now. He's coming out now. It's just that Pierre had to go all the way to the end of the pit, pit lane. I panicked for a minute there. I thought George was about to take him. He has taken him. Regardless, George is going to take... Oh, God damn it. He is going to take him. And we are now P1 and 4 as a team. And Mercedes do now have their 2-3 that they've been looking like they're going to try and get all race long. Now, I will obviously have a pace advantage at the minute, although I have just lost my friggin' force feedback again. So I might not have a pace advantage, considering I can't feel what the rear tyres are doing. Thank you, Nick. Could have at least let me get DRS, you tit. Never mind. 16 laps to go. That was fastest lap of the race, was it? Oh no, purple sector 3, sorry. I've got my force feedback back again. So weird how it does that.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by
At least we know we've got a method of getting it back now, rather than just having to just stop altogether. Just basically kick the rumble back into life by just using the curbs. Pierre is still right with George. He might stand a chance, maybe, of taking that position back. So force feedback is important. Force feedback is important for, was it Bellegrim that asked that question? Because as I'm coming around corners like this, I can feel the rumble, the vibration, and that means I know where the limit of grip is and isn't. So if I start turning a corner and I start getting a certain type of rumble through the controller, I know that I'm losing grip with my rear tyres and I need to adjust accordingly, either by braking a little bit, easing off the throttle, or easing my steering angle. Otherwise, if you can't feel the back tyres at all, or can't feel that force feedback at all, you run a very high risk of either A, just losing loads of lap time because you're just constantly spinning your rear tyres, or B, just spinning the whole car. Pierre is right behind him into turn 1, but he's not quite close enough, I don't think, to actually have a go. No, I don't think Pierre's going to finish ahead of George. He'll be able to cling on behind George, but I don't think he's going to get ahead of him. Gap to Lewis is starting to come down now as my tyres wear. And of course I've got that front wing damage from getting too ambitious or too impatient behind Pierre. Although despite the fact that that wing is light green, there's no visible damage on my car. So I'm still okay. And still no word about rain. I said 55 or later. Well, we've reached 55 and it's not rained yet, and there's still blue sky in some areas of the skyline. So I'm not sure whether it is actually going to rain enough to warrant intermediate tyres by the end of the race at all. Unless we have like a monsoon-esque It's raining, and it's coming now.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good. Dry
No threat of rain.
Fastest tyre at the moment.
With 11.5 laps to go. I don't think it's gonna. It might start to rain, but I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be intermediate tyre running at all. These soft tyres are gonna have to do a pretty hefty stint. Everybody else has gone to hards because they don't think that the softs will last. I took the softs, hoping that they would, expecting that they would, based on the experience we had yesterday in the Creator Series. We'll find out soon who's right or wrong. 10 laps to go. Gaps are as you see them on the screen. We would have effectively a free pit stop to come out in third because I put another set of soft tyres on that are quote unquote used but only 3% worn, so they'd be fine. And I'd obviously blitz past Russell and Gasly on their now wearing hards, but it would be a case of could I, would I, probably not, catch Lewis Hamilton. But the fact the rain isn't coming is starting to bring up the question of fuel again. Am I going to need to start to save fuel a bit by the end of the race? Maybe.
9 laps left.
9 laps of fuel left, and I have 9.25 laps to go in the Grand Prix. It's going to be close. Unless it rains. If it rains, we're loving life. If it rains, we'll definitely get the win. If it doesn't, it might be close as my tyres wear and I have to start saving fuel. Trying to keep my gap as big as possible so that when I start to fuel save, it's not that much of an issue because I can't fuel save now and then push again because my tyres are gone. So I want to use them the best of the tyre to go full pelt, and then when the tyres start to go and I'm worried about fuel, then I can fuel save when the gap is as big as it possibly could have been by that point. At the minute, still 8.2. I do now have a free stop to come out in front of George Russell and Pierre Gasly, who continue to sit half a second apart. But Pierre can't get through. And at the minute, we're not worried about anything other than maybe fuel. Well, certainly fuel. My fuel won't get me to the end of the minute. I need to pit again. Concentrate, Ches. Not I need to pit again. I need to fuel save or hope that we rain and pit again. But that one mistake is going to cost me about a second. More than a second and a half. Well, piss. This is why I have flashbacks turned on and I try my best to commentate as best I can, but sometimes
Rain is forecast in just over
10 minutes.
time.
It's not enough.
Rain in 10 minutes. Okay,
Not
dry
enough.
seem like the best tyre for now.
not enough. Yeah, that's why I have flashbacks on.
Okay, so
Because I can't drive to my absolute limit
23.1 seconds.
and talk and commentate and read chat, etc. The only way I can drive to my absolute limit and not make silly mistakes is by not talking. But then what sort of video would that be? I definitely wouldn't have needed the 8.5 that it put me on at the start of the race. Like, we've done it at full pelt and it's going to be... I needed like 7 laps worth of fuel rather than... 7 laps worth of extra fuel rather than 8.5. So I certainly can take some fuel out of the pre-race predictions. But it looks like we are using about 0.1, just over 0.1 laps worth of fuel a lap. Meaning I'm going to need to save, with 5 laps to go, 0.3 laps worth of fuel. I need to save 0.3 laps worth of fuel, whilst also not letting Lewis Hamilton catch me, and he's under 6 seconds. It's going to be close. Pretty sure I am going to up the difficulty for the next Grand Prix from 100 to 102. Safety car! Oh! It saved my race in terms of... It saved my race in terms of fuel, but... Piastri's binned it. Piastri's just binned it there. I don't need to lift and coast anymore, but my tyres are very worn. Oh my god, what's happened? I think Piastri binned it. Piastri's binned it. Someone's then come around the corner and whacked him. Oh, no, the Alpine's out. Oh, it's just pure chaos. It's pure chaos. The Alpine is out as well. It's absolute chaos here in Spain in the last few laps. And now, this is really, really, really going to be an intense finish. Although I can get a free pit stop, a cheap pit stop, to put a set of 3% used softs on and then be right behind Lewis Hamilton with fresher tyres. It's Max Verstappen at Abu Dhabi all over again. But late chaos here in Spain with a safety car. And I think it might actually have just, even though it's a weird one, I think it might actually have just made the end of our race easier than more difficult, even though it's going to close the gap. There are 4 laps left. But the safety car hasn't picked me up yet. So I will be... No, it's not worth pitting. I'd have one lap. I'm just going to save my battery. I'd have like 1 lap. I won't... No, because it's a cheap pit stop unwanted. Even if we were full racing speed, I would still have come out P2. But because everyone's having to stick to a delta, it's a very cheap stop. And the pit takes, rather than 23 seconds, will take about 13, if not less. So because of the gaps, I think Hamilton can come out of the pits. Oh, I didn't think I was going to get any audio then. Because of the gaps, Hamilton, I think, can come out of the pits and still be in P2. I'm boxing. I'm doing it. I'm going to box for a set of softs. Yeah, it's the game. The game is messing the audio up. I'm going to put a set of softs on, use all of my battery, and we will come out in P2, but significantly ahead of Pierre and George, so we're not worried about that. And then we just need to close Lewis up. We might just have a 1-lap sprint. Get that tyre off!
Seems to have been a problem removing the right front wheel. We need to try and
put that behind
us, and let's finish this race as strong as possible.
Might just have 1 lap to try and take the lead again, but 1 lap is all we'll need. Curveball, as Max Verstappen is P17, there's a load of lap cars in the way that in real life would move and be allowed to overtake the safety car, but on the game, cars don't unlap themselves.
For 3 more laps.
I'm worried now. We didn't factor in the lapped cars. They will move, but they're going to have to move bloody quick, and I'm going to have to be really fast against Lewis to take the win. Is it a risk that's been worth taking, or is it not? We'll find out in 2.5 laps' time. Safety car will be in at the end of lap 64, I think, and we will have a 2-lap sprint at the end of the race. Lap 65 and lap 66 will be all I have to try and take Lewis Hamilton. But I should have a 2-lap sprint with a significant tyre advantage and a full battery. Surely we still get the win. Lewis could absolutely have pit himself and had fresh tyres on and still come out ahead of Pierre Gasly, who, crucially, I've just noticed, has taken George Russell. So Pierre is now P3. He's ahead of George. So we might...
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes.
Imagine if the safety car was out until the rain came. Oh my god. So the safety car will be in at the end of this lap, I'm sure. I need those... I need the back 3 to catch up. Please come in this lap. Safety car in this lap, good. So they're all going to get out of the way.
Those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line.
Oh, I know there's no overtaking until the timing line. Shut up. So I've got 4 cars to get out of the way, and then catch Lewis for the win. For the content! For the content! And I need Pierre to keep George behind as well. I don't want to be too close in case these guys slow and get right out of the way immediately. Lewis is gone, and they should all jump out the way down the straight. Now move. Move. Move!
Green flag.
Max is trying to let us through. It's not really worked that well. Stroll is going to let us through. Oh my God. Gasly still P3. No, George has taken him. Calamitous. Piastri's going to let me through. Now I've got a lap and 3/4 to catch a 2-second gap to Lewis, but with a full battery and a significant tyre advantage. And you can see the gap come down. There won't be any DRS.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
I know we've only got 2 laps of fuel left. But Lewis will have charged his battery up fully as well, of course. So he's going to be able to defend as well. I can't believe Pierre couldn't hold on to P3. There's been more accidents behind, yellow flags again.
Okay, final
Battery's going. Battery's going. This is now a 1-lap sprint out for the win of the Grand Prix here in Spain. He's on worn hards. I'm on basically fresh softs. I'm going to sit behind him here and I'm going to take him into turn 10. Going to need a good turn 9 though. Which we've gotten. For the win! For the win! Nail it, nail it, nail it. You betcha! The win of the Spanish Grand Prix! Da, 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 da. It was a massive risk to take, but we took it for the content. And we are going to win the Spanish Grand Prix with a 2-lap sprint at the end. Da, 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 da. Woo! We did it! We did it! Win 2 of our career.
Fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. You deserved that race win. Well
Actually, it
done,
might be win 3 of our career. It's win 2 of the season for sure. Lando Norris, driver of the day. Saving that extra set of soft tyres in qualifying, turns out was the right thing to have done and earned us the victory. I'm not sure if I got a fastest lap on that last lap or not, but race winner, the cheese. Shaky bottle time once more, but oh, that late safety car threw the race into absolute bedlam at the end with all of those lapped cars there as well. That could have gone horribly, horribly, horribly wrong. Unfortunately, Pierre Gasly doesn't end his race on the podium. He finishes P4. Oh, because of those lap cars, which is such a frustration, but it is what it is. Have a look at race director. Did I take the fastest lap on the last lap? I think I might have done with all the battery I was using and the fresh tyres. Indeed we did with a 1:12.5. 1:12.5. So I will close on a number of people at the top of the championship. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I will close on a number of people at the top of the championship. But Mercedes will pull further away in the constructors. Pierre will get great points, however. Pierre will get very, very good points. But it's not going to help us close on top spot in the constructors or Mercedes, but it will help us close on everybody else. We've got sponsorship renewal on the way to the Mercedes Grand Prix. We've got a marketing department event as well. Pick a new rival. Well, I just had Charles Leclerc. I'm going to go Sergio Perez. He will be my new rival moving forward for the next segment of the championship. So in the standings, I now lead the championship. A massive swing because Max finished well outside the points. Max finished 16th because of the incident that led to the red flag. Oh, not the red flag, the safety car. I get my second win of the season and my... Oh no, we won quite a few last year. My 1, 2... Oh no, that's Lewis. Yeah, it's my second win of the season and of my career. But because Max was well out of the points and Yuki was only P7, we've jumped them both. We've also jumped Lewis by a couple of points as well. So I've gone from P4 in the championship to P1 in the championship by a single point. Pierre is now on his own effectively in P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, P9. But it's certainly a four-way fight for the title. And with George there on 99 points now with another podium and presumably only going to get stronger still for the rest of the season because that Mercedes is a rocket ship, it's a five-way fight for the title. I will try difficulty in Canada at 102 and we'll test it out and see what it feels like. But I'm not thinking I'm going to make any other changes from there. I'm quite happy to renew those two sponsorships as they are. I like them aesthetically and the money's not really an issue for us at the minute, so we'll renew those. Right, let's make Pierre better. Let's improve our power department in terms of their morale. Chassis team building will be important as well, and I can't do anything else, unfortunately. So we will advance towards the next race. Hopefully everything passes. The brake disc width should pass on the day of the race, which it does. You love to see it. So, with the R&D progress, Red Bull still haven't improved at all since race 1. Mercedes have taken a big jump. Aston Martin have taken a big jump. Alpine are now level with Red Bull and above Ferrari. McLaren have actually overtaken Ferrari, you can see on the left. That won't be shown on the chart until we get to the next race weekend. Got 1,100 resource points, which isn't really enough to do anything of any real note at the moment. So we will skip and advance that and go to the race weekend in Canada, where, like I say, I will up the difficulty to 102. They did recently patch the difficulty because of something. So 101 to 110 actually got better. Weather forecast is a dry race. Mixed conditions in quali, but crucially it says dry conditions on track for the race. So even though it said mixed in the last one and we didn't get rain, it says dry here and we shouldn't get rain. So we're good there. So with regards to the R&D progress then, you can see that McLaren and Alpine, well actually Alpine were already better than Ferrari. Ferrari now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ferrari is 7th in the pecking order. Williams now right with them as well. Ferrari have fallen off entirely. We've improved a little bit. Aston Martin and Mercedes not quite so much, so it makes sense to up the difficulty to 102, which is what we will do exactly right bloody now. 100 to 102, and Canada will be a good track to check that. But actually, Red Bull have, well spotted live chat, Red Bull have finally started to upgrade their car. So are Red Bull going to suddenly do like we did and suddenly become championship contenders again? We'll wait and see. But we went 1st, 2nd, 9th, and then 3rd, 2nd, 1st. So maybe back-to-back wins for the first time in our career? At a higher difficulty, maybe. Ferrari haven't improved since Jeddah. So they, at some point, will start to take a tick as well. And we'll keep a keen eye on Red Bull and Ferrari moving forward. Because they're probably going to start to catch us up now that we're resource point limited and department limited as well. We have to start spending some of that money. As far as I can get on the powertrain, I'm nearly as far as I can get on the chassis, just the brakes. I can do a lot more on downforce, but I haven't got the resource points to do it. But maybe I start saving for those points. I could maybe do the brakes after practice in Canada, and then we could concentrate on the aero side of things, and again, maybe just forget about the durability, and then we can solely concentrate on durability whilst we wait for the facilities to upgrade. It's going to be an intriguing one in Canada on 102 difficulty, but that is where you will join me next. Do drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more. And come and join me live on stream. Link in the description down below, and you can help me out with all of the decisions we need to make strategically, like that one, moving forward. Thank you very much for watching, YouTube. I'll see you next time.